Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to cover the news this morning. We've got a lot going on right now. CNN is reporting that Donald Trump has won his immunity case. I'm waiting for more information on that because the U.S. Supreme Court oral argument on the immunity claim is still ongoing. But CNN is reporting that he won, and he has presidential immunity, which is absolutely hilarious if it shakes out to be true. But that's what's going on. That's what's going around on X right now. A few people saying and quoting CNN on that. So that's kind of interesting. Good morning, everybody. It's April 25th. And good morning, Left Maryland. Good to see you. We're going to get into the news, although this is kind of developing in live. It's so boring to listen to. We're going to talk about the financial situation we're in right now and more. We're going to start with a video of Trump from this morning, and then we'll carry on. Thank you, Kelly's, and everybody for tuning in. Mary and everybody else. Thank you so much. Check here, get these chats open. Thank you if you're tuning in over on X. I appreciate that. You could follow me on X if you aren't, and we can have fun over there. The free speech platform, right? Let me just get this pulled up here on D Live as well. Thank you for tuning in over there. Thank you, Black Jester. And how you doing? Good morning. Let's get into it. The markets are doing terribly this morning, and we got a lot of data out today. But first, let's listen to what Trump said in this video. He published this on Truth early this morning.
Thank you very much. As you probably have heard, some very big things have happened, but the biggest seems to be that the GDP just announces all the way down to 1.6%, and it's heading south. It's going to get worse. Gas prices in California were just also announced at $7.60. Gasoline is going way up. Energy costs are going way up. And the stock market is, in a sense, crashing. The numbers are very bad. This is Bidenomics. It's catching up with him. It's lucky that it's catching up before he leaves office as opposed to after he leaves office. But this is Bidenomics. It's destroying our country at the border, destroying our country with other countries. They no longer respect the United States. I think the dollar's in tremendous trouble in terms of currency. This is going to be the standard, and it's going to be the standard with me. With Biden, you're going to lose. The dollar is the standard. That'll be like losing the biggest war we've ever lost. And it's a shame, but it's all the way down to 1.6, and I'll tell you, nobody thought that would be possible. And it looks like it's heading down from there. So that's very bad news. This morning I met with great people, construction workers, some Teamsters, and other unions, and some not in unions, and we had a fantastic morning. You were there, some of the press was there. Great show of support. As you know, some tremendous polls came out over the last 24 hours where we're up in all of the swing states and up nationally. But one came out where we're down very little in New York. New York traditionally isn't won by Republicans anymore. It used to be 50 years ago, but not anymore. And I think we have a good chance of winning New York. We're going to give it a big play. We're going to the South Bronx to do a rally. We're going to be doing a rally at Madison Square Garden, we believe. We think we're signing Madison Square Garden to do it. We're going to have a big rally honoring the police and honoring the firemen and everybody. Honoring a lot of people, including teachers, by the way. We're honoring teachers because teachers have been very badly aligned with some very poor leadership. But we'll be honoring the people that make New York work, and we'll be doing a number of large rallies. It'll be very exciting. But we think we have a real good chance of winning New York. And again, the swing states, we're leading in every one of them, and by a lot, not just by a little, by a lot. But the big news today, I think, is the 1.6%. When you look at 1.6 GDP, that's a number that nobody thought was possible. That's a real bad number.
All right. So, yeah, Trump announced a big event, a rally in Madison Square Garden, which will be pretty cool. I think he has a good chance of winning New York. I'll be honest. People are not happy there, and they're just leaving like crazy, just moving their businesses and more. He talks about how terrible the economy is and that it's catching up to Biden, luckily now rather than later. And Biden, I mean, every time he speaks, seems to be making blunders. It's just crazy. I have a quick little clip here where he reads the teleprompter when he's not supposed to. Once again.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years.
Smooth.
4 more years. 4 more years.
I said pause.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. 4 more years.
I think you realized it. 4 more years, pause. Good job. All right. Yeah. 4 more years. Great idea. Great idea. Thank you for retweeting over there on X, or reposting over on X. I appreciate that. My gosh. All right. Let's talk about the financial situation, the economy. The U.S. economy slowed significantly in the first quarter. China trading volume for gold, by the way. Well, hold on. Yeah, trading volume for gold is 400% larger than the average right now. This is probably contributing to the increase in price there. 400% larger than average, just off the charts trading in gold in China. That's not a good sign. As expected, we have this from Real EJ Anthony. He says yesterday's forecast, inflation ripped higher in today's GDP report, nearly doubling from the previous quarter, rising back above 3%. He says, welcome to the new normal. And of course, as this is all going, we're getting all this terrible data out this morning. We have Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen, coming out and just saying all the right things. She says, we're on a downward path for inflation. I don't know what data she's looking at. She also says that the GDP data shows strength in consumers and investment spending. Just remember that. Okay. It shows the GDP data shows strength in consumers and investment spending. I don't know. I see a lot of consumers on X and they disagree with this stuff. She says the U.S. economy shows robust growth. It's firing on all cylinders. And she says that there could be revisions to the GDP data. Just a few things she said. Hilarious. Yeah, there could be revisions. No kidding. I wonder how they'll revise it. Maybe worse, maybe better. Who knows? But yeah, they seem to always have the data revised. Good morning, Princess Lee 8 and Forrest. Good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And hi, Quiet Toad. How are you? Good morning. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So she says all that. Meanwhile, we've got economic growth below pre-pandemic levels. But after the pandemic, the growth has been fueled by government borrowing. So you actually see charts of it going up, but it's not good. It's not sustainable. It's fake. Stock purchases by retail investors has fallen to their lowest since late 2020. Wait a second. Stock purchases in retail have fallen to their lowest level since late 2020. I thought Janet Yellen said that that this is strong. This is a strong area. So I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, it's just, I don't understand how people listen to this. Is anybody actually listening to just Yellen and saying, oh, okay, cool. Or is everybody just realizing that it's all backwards? It's all contradictory. It's lies. Let's just say what it is. It's lies. I don't get it, man. You've got housing inventory in Orlando, Florida, skyrocketing, which means more houses are going on the market, an indication that you could see sharp decreases in price. Nick Gurley says that with the active listings on the market up a 362% over the last 2 years. Wow. This is skyrocketing. He says inventory is rising because there are fewer buyers and more sellers, making it more likely that prices will drop in 2024. So we'll see. I mean, wow. And then let's look at Southwest Airlines. They had an interesting little story this morning. They're ending service at 4 airports and firing 2,000 employees. Wow. So New York Post reported on this. They said that American Airlines and Southwest Airlines both lost money in the first quarter. And Southwest said Thursday that it would limit hiring and close operations at 4 airports. The 4 airports are in this article somewhere. And I think it's like Washington State and a few other smaller airports. But anyway, not good for Southwest Airlines. Wow. But they said that they should pick things up here in the next quarter because travel's picking up, etc. And they also said that part of the reason is because of Boeing and their airplane supply and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, not good, no matter how you cut it or what the reasons are. We had Biden proposing a 44.6 capital gains tax. Absolutely monstrous, an absolutely monstrous number. And somebody pointed this out. That's how this worked out for Jimmy Carter, which is he had a record tax set. And you can see here, nobody voted for him. So, yeah, hopefully people wake up to this. I mean, nobody wants to be poorer and less well off. So it's kind of a bad move for Biden right now, but they'll spin it, they'll bury it, they'll hide it, they'll lie about it, whatever. Anyway, let's move on. The economy is doing terribly. Nobody's surprised. Right. Forrest says, I have a Persian rug that doesn't lie as well as Yellen. Ha. Good one. I think I have a Persian rug too. It needs to be cleaned. Those things are pricey, man. Persian rugs. All right, onward. We had a lot of protests going on at all of these college campuses. This has been a really hot topic. These are pro-Hamas protesters. We have them at the University of Florida and elsewhere. We had more than 100 arrests at U.S. universities yesterday at these pro-Palestinian protests. My gosh, we even have this picking up in Olympia, Washington. And at their college, they have a little people starting to camp out in their little grass fields over there and elsewhere. And yeah, last night protesters were provided with what Nick Sorter said was thousands of dollars worth of supplies. Nobody knows where these supplies came from. Here's the image or video of that. You can hear the protesters in the background. We'll turn that down. But yeah, just tons of water. I think there's Gatorades and food and snacks and pizzas. Just piles and piles of, what is that? Napkins and water, groceries, veggie chips. So funny. All kinds of good groceries there. Fruit, fresh fruit, all this stuff. Nobody knows where it comes from. Where do these people get their funding? I mean, do they have jobs? Are they going to work? How are they protesting all night? This went well into the middle of the night. It's just nuts. Los Angeles police arrested around 50 protesters at the University of Southern California yesterday after clashing with police. Fox, and this was an interesting one. We had this video of Fox 7 news photojournalist being thrown to the ground at the University of Texas, and he was arrested. And a lot of people, this is like a hot debate topic right here. So let's watch this. We'll turn this down. We don't need to hear all the yelling and screaming, but let's go back here. So let me pause it. So he's holding the camera. He's right here. He's the bald guy with the blue backpack and the camera on his shoulder. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this. Keep your eye on him. Let me know what you think. He does go off frame for a second, but we will watch from another angle here in a moment. So let's watch, see what happens here. Here he is at the bottom of the frame, going off frame here. Okay. Let's go back and we'll watch the full thing. But look who's in front of him. You have an officer in front of him and protesters all around. An officer right in front of him, and he follows that officer. Okay. And then this officer pulls him back. That officer and him throw him on the ground, and they arrest him. Let's go back one more time and watch again. Okay. So, I guess I'll let this play out. So this was live. And they carried him off. He says that it was the photojournalist claims it was unintentional, and because officers said that his camera struck an officer. So kind of when he goes off frame is where it occurred. We'll watch one more time. And he does lunge forward. He says he was pushed. I don't see anybody behind him here. We'll watch another angle here. All right, let's see. I mean, I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, why are they arresting a journalist? And I was like, let me look at this, or a cameraman at least. What's going on here, right? I mean, what is this? What's going on? Well, I saw this other angle and I'm starting to think like maybe he actually intentionally did this. And I don't know, who knows, but we have another angle here. We'll share. Let's see. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me go back to the beginning. So he's over here in the background, okay? I wonder if I could slow this down. No, oh yeah, I can. Let's go 0.75 speed. So we're going to play this. Here he is. And you can see no one's behind him, and he does shove his camera forward. Yeah, what is that about? And that officer sees him. I mean, they weren't trying to arrest him prior to that, so it looks to me like he may have assaulted an officer. My goodness. And then just like, oh, someone pushed me. It's like, hey, dude, there's a lot of camera footage. Yikes, but they'll probably let him go. Did you guys see that? Princess says it's all morning interruption. Here we go. Can we do a show? Testing. Am I going to come back online? Testing. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Of course. Yeah, Forrest, I was just saying, I didn't see a push. I'm in the no push category. Yeah, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Who knows? I mean, it's hard to tell with these videos. I'll be honest with you. Maybe he was. I don't know. But I didn't look like anybody pushed him. I didn't see it. Maybe he did, and it's not on camera. I don't know. ABC reported yesterday that not all the protesters are students, at USC at least, and that outside forces have infiltrated the campus to kickstart a riot. Texas police also made arrests as the pro-Palestine protests intensified. Nick Sorter's reporting on this as well, talking about how things were getting increasingly ugly yesterday and last night. We have a little clip here that we can watch. This was during the day yesterday. A few different clips. Oh, and these suck because I can't make them full screen. I apologize. So we're gonna move on. That's the bad thing about posting multiple video clips at once. Oh, there we go. Here we are. Face to face with officers. They move in to make arrests. And this is because they basically are trespassed. There was violence towards some officers, etc. I've heard of various different reasons on why protesters are being arrested. People are arguing, obviously, the First Amendment argument that they have the right to protest. Why are they being arrested? Etc. And it's a heated debate right now. And it's just, tensions are getting tighter and tighter. Tensions are rising, that's for sure. And of course, it's an election year. I don't see a lot of people making that connection, that the coincidence that every election year you have these massive uprisings and social unrest during the summer, which we're almost there. Gret says infiltration. What are you implying in Gret? If you want to elaborate, I'd appreciate it. I think I kind of know where you're going with that, but I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything. Also in Harvard, protesters took over their courtyard as well. It's just everywhere. Every school is doing this. And one school even, let me see. I thought I had this. I think this article may talk about it. One school closed down. They are basically going to stop. No, that's not it. They're going to, this is it. Close down the school and go to all online learning for their campus. Let me see. Which campus is this? Closed. USC said on social media site X at around midnight that the protests had ended and the campus would remain closed until further notice. Quote, students, faculty, staff, and people with business on campus may enter with proper identification. So people are arguing like, hey, what if you went to a school and they said, okay, the rest of the year we're going to do online learning because of protests? I heard different opinions on this yesterday. Some people said I'd want my money back. They'd say it depends on the situation as well, because if the university is doing everything in their power to prevent that to happen, then maybe there's an argument for them. But it's a horrible situation for these colleges and everybody. I mean, this is just bad. I don't see a good anything good about this. Anyway, it's all for show to get people in a tiss. Yeah. I think there's more to it than the surface value too. It's really unfortunate. It really is. I agree. Forrest, this is so darn horrible. It really is. I agree with that too. Okay, onward. Let's get on to a little bit of political stuff. Actually, I do want to check in. Is there any update on Trump? Like I said in the beginning of this, CNN had reported that he won the immunity case. However, there was still some the live thing was still going on, so I don't know. Let me just double check if that's legit, that Trump won his immunity case this morning. Let's see. It's not really going around. Let's see. I guess it's still ongoing. However, CNN did report that, at least people reporting that CNN reported that immunity case. So I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now. I haven't confirmed that 100%. So let's see. Paul Sperry said, breaking hearing just 14 minutes ago. Hearing arguments in Trump immunity case. SCOTUS Justice Gorsuch earlier this morning expressed concerns limiting presidential immunity also could lead to presidents pardoning themselves every 4 years from now on. Yes, out of fear a successor like Biden would prosecute them. Yeah, that's something you might see if Trump lost the case. So apparently it's still ongoing if that was 14 minutes ago. There's convoluted information, people trying to be first to report what's going on here. He's absolutely right. If presidents don't have immunity and it applies to prior actions, they never had immunity, is what this case would basically say, then they'd prosecute Trump, and then Biden would be under pressure. So Biden could just resign in January and his vice president can become president and then pardon Biden and his family. And that would just be the tradition for the president from now on. They just resign, get pardoned, and move on. I don't know. It's a theory, an interesting theory, but we'll see. We'll see how this unfolds today for sure, but it's still kind of in process. Yeah, people are reporting that Trump won the SCOTUS immunity case, but that is coming only from CNN so far. I haven't seen it anywhere else, so we'll see. We shall see. All right, I just wanted to go back and update y'all on that in case you just tuned in a little bit later. So, yeah, make sure if you're new, subscribe and like and leave a comment if you want to discuss something further. I appreciate those. Thank you. Hey, Poon Slayer, how you doing? I see you over there. Can Critter arrested for impeding police? Probably. Yeah. I heard different reasons, and usually it's for threatening police or assaulting police or different kinds of things like this. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, essentially, they're not just arresting people for protesting. I think that if people want to peacefully protest, you can. The problem happens when you have people trying to incite riots and violence and breaking the law, not obeying the law is where they start arresting people. So I think they're being very careful on how that goes, um, which is good. But at the same time, I mean, they start making these arrests. It's just it gets ugly quick. It's a real bummer. I mean, there's no winning this. It's just like a lose-lose situation, kind of. Especially when you have people that aren't even part of these campuses infiltrating, essentially. And maybe that's what that comment was about. Gret. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Anyway, onward. So we also have. I'm just reading here a lot of Trump stuff that we already talked about. We had a bunch of people indicted yesterday. Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, and 15 others. Holy moly, this is huge. 100%fedup.com reported this. And they wrote, in what may be the most extreme example of lawfare yet displayed by Democrats, Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani, and 16 other Trump allies have been indicted in Arizona. President Trump has been named as unindicted co-conspirator number 1. It's developing. It says this news was not widely expected and comes as a significant surprise. And we have a statement from Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays. I kind of want to hear what she has to say here or share.
Hi, I'm Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays. Let me start by thanking everyone for your patience as we conducted a thorough and professional investigation over the past 13 months into the fake elector scheme in our state. I understand for some of you today didn't come fast enough, and I know I'll be criticized by others for conducting this investigation at all. But as I have stated before and will say here again today, I will not allow American democracy to be undermined. It's too important. The investigators and attorneys assigned to this case took the necessary time to thoroughly piece together the details of the events that began nearly 4 years ago. They followed the facts where they led, and I'm very proud of the work they've done to date. We're here because justice demands an answer to the efforts that the defendants and other unindicted co-conspirators allegedly took to undermine the will of Arizona's voters during the 2020 presidential election. Arizona's election was free and fair. The people of Arizona elected President Biden. Unwilling to accept this fact, the defendants charged by the state grand jury allegedly schemed to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency. Whatever their reasoning was, the plot to violate the law must be answered for, and I was elected to uphold the law of this state. The scheme, had it succeeded, would have deprived Arizona's voters of their right to have their votes counted for their chosen president. It effectively would have made their right to vote meaningless.
Really? Okay, this is interesting. I mean, we'll see what happens. The full list of 18 individuals were Kelly Ward, Tyler Bowyer, Nancy Cottle, Jacob Hoffman, Anthony Kern, James Lehman, Robert Montgomery, Samuel Moorhead, Lorraine Pellegrino, Greg Safston, Michael Ward, Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani, Boris Epstein. Epstein? I don't know. Jenna Ellis, Christina Bobb, John Eastman, and Mike Roman. It's a developing story. So now, I mean, couldn't this open up discovery and more information and actually be a good thing, perhaps? I don't know, but pretty wild stuff to see. They are going after everybody in Arizona now. Holy smokes. And we still have, right now, the U.S. Supreme Court oral arguments on former President Trump's immunity claim going on. Justice Neil Gorsuch is speaking in the U.S. Supreme Court, and Michael Dreeben. And it's just, I don't want to listen to that, but I was just checking in real quick. So we'll hear more on that later. This was an interesting little statistic here that I saw. 42% of Democrats support mass deportation of illegal immigrants. 42% of Democrats support mass deportation. Wow, that is a lot. And that is according to one survey of 6,251 adults taken March through April 2024. So here's the results. This is from the Harris poll. Axios Visuals made the chart based on that data. 6,251, 42%. That's pretty significant. Although, with these polls, you never know how the data's skewed or where these people are from, etc. So who knows? I mean, you got to take all this with a grain of salt. I mean, all of it, because information is so fleeting these days, at least true information. Lock him up, Poonslayer says. My gosh. All right. Forrest says, well, that's a nice number. Yeah, it is. This was a weird story from yesterday about Secret Service. One of Kamala Harris's Secret Service agents was hospitalized after he exhibited distressing behavior. It was reported that he was spouting gibberish, speaking incoherently, and physically provoked another officer. Harris was not present when the incident occurred, according to authorities, but the other officers arrested him, the other agents, rather. So the Secret Service agent was spouting gibberish and speaking incoherently. Everyone's speculating on what this could possibly be, or a lot of people are. And one popular theory is, what are those weapons? Those weapons that are being used? I forget what they're called. Dang it. Gosh, I was thinking about it this morning. What are those weapons that they were reporting on earlier this year that they said Russia was utilizing? Havana syndrome. Maybe some people were saying it was Havana syndrome, or some acoustic weapons, or some kind of weird thing like that. Somebody contacted me and said that it was for another reason, and that he had a mental breakdown, and that's unconfirmed, but an interesting story I want to learn more about to see if it's true or not, or if that develops to be true. But that's probably what I would roll with for now until more information comes out that he had a mental breakdown. But who knows? That's just total speculation. And concerning. A Secret Service agent just losing his marbles is very concerning, regardless of the reason, right? And it's an interesting story. I hope that this develops further, and I'll let you know if I can confirm details on that, because it's quite interesting. It's quite hilarious even. So onward. We had news on Harvey Weinstein. The Harvey Weinstein conviction was overturned. My goodness. Yeah, that's right. Harvey Weinstein, the victim of the Me Too movement, accused of heinous crimes. His conviction of some of the worst crimes you can imagine have been overturned by New York Appellate Court. I guess this may go back to court, and his victims will have to testify once again on the horrible things that were done to them. So it's just being strung along, in my opinion. They're just buying time, etc. Just sick. I can't believe this. Unbelievable. But that's all I'm going to say on that. Just so you know, that happened too. There's a lot going on, and that just broke this morning, a couple hours ago. All right, what else? We had good news out of Tennessee. This is kind of cool. I like it, but also I think that a lot of caution should be taken, and this should be done right. But the U.S. General Assembly of Tennessee has passed a bill allowing teachers to carry guns, prompting protesters to chant "Blood on your hands" from the stands. So yeah, that's right. Tennessee teachers are allowed to carry guns now, according to this bill. It's passed. Wow. And that's a great argument, especially when you have these violent situations that happen at schools and nothing can be done about it. People say, why don't the teachers just get trained with firearms and have firearms if there's a threat to students etc., then they can handle that threat until police arrive. It's a great argument. But also there are crazy teachers too, and it's a slippery slope. But the Second Amendment is better than it is not. Does that make sense? The Second Amendment, I think that this would be a better decision than not doing it, is what I'm saying. Okay, I'll just stay with that. That's just my opinion. I am pro Second Amendment. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about teachers carrying firearms to protect themselves and students in the case of a horrific event. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. That is a big one. But man, I mean, this is crazy. Students are afraid to go to school, and there's all this craziness going on. So something has to be done, right? I don't know. One would think. The White House came out and said that Russia could make more gains in the coming weeks. Wait, Russia could make more gains. They're talking about Ukraine here. Are you saying that our what was it, 60 something billion dollars isn't going to prevent Russia from making more gains in the coming weeks? Well, what's going on? It's just ridiculous. So yeah, the wars continue. Ukraine has been doing worse and worse, and the mainstream media is finally actually reporting on that a little truthfully. They're saying that things aren't looking good. They could lose this year, et cetera, et cetera. So despite the billions of dollars thrown in that direction, Russia continues to make progress. Onward. You had the U.S. and 17 other countries coming together, releasing a joint statement calling for the immediate release of the remaining hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. So this is also ongoing. I don't cover it very much. It's just so depressing. I don't like seeing war images. I don't like seeing war videos. And I don't like fighting about who's right, who's wrong, and all that semantics. That's why I just give you the updates of little facts. That's all. I don't want to sit here and watch these violent videos or anything like that, or debate or anything, honestly. We had China sending warnings to Antony Blinken, saying the U.S. must choose between, quote, cooperation or confrontation. So those are not friendly words from China. And I think Blinken went to China. He arrived there yesterday, and he was greeted by, not Xi or anyone very high up, but like lower on the totem pole officials. I forget who exactly. And no red carpet, no band, no nothing. It was just like a normal guy coming to China. Hey, how you doing? It seemed quite disrespectful and odd. So just something to note there. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I saw the video and all that. That's true, but people were saying that's not normal. That usually there's a red carpet, kind of a respect and kind of a little celebration and honor. No honor involved, interestingly enough. Yeah, just to show it's very symbolic of the relations here. This was a funny one, man. The Australian Prime Minister, he's such a snowflake. He's calling for a crackdown on memes about himself. He wants censorship. Reclaim the Net wrote an article on it. Absolutely hilarious situation. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's support for censoring satirical memes raises concerns about government overreach in regulating online content. There he is. Don't meme this. Whatever you do, do not meme this. They're very offensive to him. It's absolutely hilarious because as soon as he comes out and says this, of course, people go crazy with their memes. It's the Streisand effect. It's when you say don't do something, everyone's on the internet's going to do it. It says here, quote, Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has endorsed social media censorship of satirical memes about him. Albanese insinuated that social media platforms are duty-bound to suppress the so-called misinformation present on their sites. So who's defining misinformation? Memes are misinformation now? If it's a meme you don't like about yourself, somebody superimposes your head on Nancy Pelosi, now that's misinformation? Crazy. Albanese noted, quote, I noticed today, for example, on the way up here that they removed various sites that were containing fake images of myself superimposed on other people. That's just the sort of thing that's going on social media. Social media has the responsibility to do the right thing here. Really? So he wants to literally censor satire. You can't censor satire. It's comedy, it's satire. You've got First Amendment. At least we do in the United States. Wow. X has initiated a legal challenge against Australian government following an unprecedented court order mandating global content censorship. Yeah, that's right. Australia wants to censor the internet for the world. Who decides what's to be censored and not? Well, the government wants to, of Australia. Crazy. I'm sorry, buddy. We've got the First Amendment. Not happening. There's a lot there. I saw some hilarious cartoons, animations, memes. The internet's just going crazy, and this is totally backfiring on Australia. Absolutely hilarious. Let me go to the chat real quick. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to miss anything. Thank you, Loop de Loop, for the donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Andrew, good one. Poon Slayer says, liberals with good guns. Sure, why not? Not necessarily, you know. I mean, the Tennessee story there. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, what's the answer then, Poon Slayer? I don't know, right? It's a very interesting question to discuss. Thank you, Forrest. And hey, thank you, Doris, for following. Appreciate that. And Black Jester, thank you for the donation. And Princess Lisa, thank you for the donation. Thank you all so much. And thank you for the follow. That's really nice. Thank you. All right. We've got a couple more things to talk about, I think. Yeah, we have this protest. And somebody said this is why Australia doesn't want things posted on the internet. They don't want information shared. They want to suppress information. These are Muslims in Australia. The government of Australia, this is Wall Street Silver writing this. The government of Australia doesn't want people to know what's going on or how bad it has really become. Otherwise, the people might become alarmed and vote them out. And this is just a video of a protest going on. They say it looks like an army marching through Sydney. But no, the social unrest is not just in the States. This is going to be a global phenomenon. It is a global phenomenon. It is quite concerning. I don't think that this is simply about censoring memes. I think it's about censoring everything. That's what I think. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Onward. We've got health. Let's talk about it. It's very important. The WHO, not the band, the World Health Organization, the WHO, calls for global detection networks for bird flu virus. That's right. The World Health Organization wants bird flu virus to be detected around the globe if it's there. What are they going to use, right? PCR tests or what? What's the plan there? We already see these reports of bird flu. We see it coming through cows and found in cow milk now. And they say, don't drink raw milk. It has bird flu in it. Raw milk is one of the unhealthiest milks. It's dangerous. It's got diseases. They've always said that. And here we go with more. Oh, gosh, I would hate to see another pandemic. And I was doing some research. I asked AI because this is such a hard calculation. You know, pandemics are very rare, right? Very rare. They say, at least a few years ago, they were saying, you know, a pandemic's so rare, you only see one about every 100 years. So, wow, that's rare. Crazy that we lived through one, right? And then we might have another pandemic this year. What is it going to be? Bird flu? Is it going to be something else? Who knows? There's always the potential there could be a pandemic, right? Any year. I'm not going to get into the semantics and the theories and this and that and the what do they call it? The gain of function and all this stuff. I'm not going to get into it. It's a whole other rabbit hole. But what are the chances that we had another pandemic this year after just going through a pandemic not long ago? What are the chances? I asked AI because it's a hard calculation and it's highly, it's kind of, it's not going to be perfect, but based on the information from this rudimentary AI, Grok, that is XAI's AI, Elon Musk's AI. They said there was about a 0.04% chance we would witness another pandemic this year. A 0.04% chance. So that's just what that said. I don't know if that's true or not, but if you have one pandemic every 100 years and we just had one, it kind of makes sense that there would be it would be very unlikely to happen again right now. So just saying, just an interesting little thing that I discovered. And I don't think that's like a new novel discovery, by the way. I think it's probably well known. Anyway, news about Dr. Anthony Fauci. Speaking about gain of function research, Dr. Anthony Fauci will testify publicly for the first time since retiring from public service. He will be at the COVID Select hearing on Monday, June 3rd, 2024. So that's just a month and 1 week away. So yeah, Anthony Fauci testifying June 3rd. We'll see if that results in anything. I'm not going to hold my breath, but just so you know, we'll have more on that in June. All right. Well, I'm running out of time. I got a lot of things to do. I got to go work. I'm sure y'all have things to do as well. Chores, work, family stuff, this, that, and the other. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for support. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating in the conversation. Thank you for following me on X, all the things. Thanks for just joining me in the mornings and making this part of your routine and having a good time, just staying on top of the news. Before I go, I do want to check on Trump. What's going on this immunity case? People are saying, President Trump, quote, "We have a big case today. The judge isn't allowing me to go. We have a big case." Okay, that's earlier. Yeah, no updates really. Yeah, I don't have any final any updates on what we've already said. All right, so we'll move on and we'll see updates on X as they happen throughout the day. Anyway, y'all, take care. God bless and Godspeed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
2024 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government."